Politics is more than just voting. Yesterday I made a video that stated the absolutely true objective fact that there does not exist a single town or county or city or state in the United States where every person down to the last person voted for Harris. And there does not exist a town or city or county in the United States where every single person down to the last person voted for Trump. There are no such thing as red towns and blue towns. Every town is some type of purple. And somebody left a comment on that video saying, well, I'm a blue dot in a red county. And then they named the county that they're in. So I Googled the name of this county that this person said they lived in, and I found that a third of the people in that county had voted for Harris in the last election. 1 out of every 3 voters in this person's county had voted anti-Trump. You are not a blue dot. 1/3 of your county is with you. You are not a dot. Now, is 1/3 of the county voting blue enough to change the outcome of an election? No. But politics is not just elections. You have 1/3 of your county on your side. That is enough at least to keep somebody safe. You have 1/3 of your county on your side. There are places that have shut down the construction of data centers with fewer numbers than that. There seems to be a lot of Americans that think that the political cycle ends when elections are completed. That's not true. The political cycle begins when the elections are completed, because the majority of activity that is political activity is the things that we do as citizens to try to pressure, bully, coerce those elected officials into making decisions that benefit us. It does not take 51% of the population to be on your side, right? I live in a state where about 40% of the voters are Republicans. That's less than 50%. But somehow, Republicans in my state still get their way sometimes. I live in a state where 60% of the voters vote Democrat. 60% is more than 50%, but somehow, Democrats don't get everything they want all the time forever. And this matters. It matters to know that we're not all alone. If you think you're a blue dot in the Red Sea, you're wrong. And if you get together with the rest of Team Blue, you can get some of what you want. Not everything you want, but some of what you want, yeah. And if you think that you're a red dot in a blue sea, if you get together with the rest of the red team, you can get some of what you want. I'll give you an example. I live outside of Buffalo, New York. And earlier this year, came out in the news that the town of Cheektowaga, which is one of the suburbs of Buffalo, their police department was pulling people over for traffic infractions and talking to people who were accused of shoplifting at the mall and stuff and asking them, are you a legal citizen? And when the person said yes, but then presented an immigrant like visa, right, a green card or whatever, or a temporary work paper, the Cheektowaga police would say, yeah, we're just local cops. We don't know if this stuff is legit. And then detain that person and drag them over to ICE. This comes out in the news, and a handful of Cheektowagans decide like, no, we're not having that. That's not right. That's clearly outside their jurisdiction. If the Cheektowaga cop stopped you for running a stop sign and then started asking if you're up to date on your taxes, and you said, yeah, I'm up to date on my taxes, and they said, yeah, we don't know if that's true or not, so they arrested you and dragged you to the IRS, we would all understand that that's fucked up. So this group of Cheektowagans said, yeah, no, we're not having that. We're paying taxes here in Cheektowaga. We want the Cheektowaga police taking care of Cheektowaga crime. We don't want them off moonlighting as ICE agents. So about 24 Cheektowaga residents started going to every single one of the public town hall meetings in the town of Cheektowaga. And no matter what the town council wanted to talk about that night, these people just got up one after the other and said, I don't want my police, this town's police, my tax dollars, going to do ICE shit. They did that at every town hall meeting for 2 months. And at the end of those 2 months, the Cheektowaga Town Council said, fine, and passed a resolution that said no town resources can be used to help ICE or Border Patrol. There are 90,000 people that live in the town of Cheektowaga, but it only took 24 people grinding the town council down for 2 months for them to get a real serious change in that city's government. And guess what happened? The city of Buffalo didn't want to be out of step with one of its biggest suburbs, so the city of Buffalo issued a duplicate resolution and said that the Buffalo cops are prohibited from working with ICE and CPP. And this started happening all over the state, and here we are 6 months later, and now 287G agreements have been outlawed in New York State, and we have a bill on the table, the New York for All Act, that would make it illegal for all police officers in New York State to collaborate with ICE. A small group of people got organized, got creative, started agitating, and stayed persistent. That's also politics. That's politics as much as voting is politics. Now, can a small number of people acting persistently get my tax dollars out of Israel or bring me universal health care? No, and nobody's saying that it does. But everyone is saying that a small number of people working persistently can make some changes for good, even if they are small. And if you act like that's not true, you're just going to sound like somebody who has no idea what they're talking about.